Welcome back to another video. So we'll be changing the brake pads today on the Chevrolet Sonic 2013. We'll start off by removing the tire and then we'll go from there. If you guys want to know how to change the tire, there'll be a video right in the corner how to remove it and reinstall it. So we'll get started on that. We'll jack up the car. Alright, so I'm going to get my father to turn the wheel so we can have a better view of it and we can work on it as well. So you're going to need a 10 mil socket and an 18 mil socket, a hammer to clean off a bit of the rust on the rotors, because we will not be changing the rotors. They're in very good condition. A wire brush, a C-clamp to hold your cylinder in place so it doesn't come out, and maybe a little strap to hold your caliper so it doesn't stay on the brake line. So we'll get started on that. So we'll start off by removing these two bolts that go on the slider pins. Put those on the bench. Right. This should just be able to slide right out. I'll put my C-clamp. So now that we've removed our two bolts that hold the caliper in place, we're going to remove our rubber grommet here. Okay, it'll give us more play. I'm going to pull this out a bit. I'm going to open up my cylinder on my brake caliper so that when I put my new pads up on there, I'm going to have more play. So we're going to install our C-clamp. Don't screw it too quickly. You wouldn't want the brake fluid to come out on the other end. You'll see it starting to go in a bit. See it go in? Just go slowly. Alright, so now that that's compressed, I'm going to take my cable here. I'm going to pass it through one of these holes. Then I'm going to hang it off the strut on the top here, so it's not hanging on the brake line, okay? Just like that. Right there. Pass it through one of the springs on the strut. Just like that. Loop it around. And that's that. So it's out of your way. Now you can work on removing your two bolts here. So we're going to grab our 18 mil sockets. These will probably be a bit harder to remove. Now we're going to remove the bottom bolt. Alright, so it could drop now, so I'm holding it with my hand. Now you can remove it. There you go. I'm going to clean it up. You can remove your pads, just remember how they go. So you have the squealer bar, if you want to call it, on the rear pad. Right here. That goes in the back. So what I do is I just lie them down like that on the ground. And I know how they go. I can remove my brake clips. There's one. There's the second one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a wire brush on a drill. I'm going to clean here, inside, and then the bottom one as well. So I put the bracket on the vise. I'll be cleaning it with the wire brush. Give me a bit of brake dust. Cleaned it up with the wire brush. Make sure to grease your slider pins, okay? See how they're well lubricated? And there's a video how to lubricate your slider pins, and we'll have it in the video up in the corner. See how it's perfectly lubricated? Now we can reinstall that, but first what we're gonna do is we're gonna clean the rotors. Alright, so I'm just gonna hit lightly the rotor all around to get all the rust off and take this little edge off, okay? So the only reason I'm removing the rust is because I'm only changing the brake pads, okay? The rotor is in actually very good condition. We did not use the brake pads completely, so therefore our rotor is still good. So that's why I'm knocking the rust off. So always make sure to wear your safety glasses. I'm gonna clean this up and then we'll be able to reinstall everything. We've cleaned up everything now. We can reinstall these brake pads. I'm gonna grab my bracket. I'm gonna put my metal brackets on. These brackets are springs, if you want to call them, to hold the brake shoes in place. I'll show you guys how to install it. It's actually pretty straightforward. You're just gonna grab these here. There's a slot right there. You're gonna jam it in here. Slowly. Make sure that it's equal to here, right? So once you push it in, he's got these pins here that'll guide you in. Alright? So now look at that. It's flush every side. That's what you want. So we'll flip it around. We'll put our bottom bracket. The brackets in this case were all the same, so you didn't have to guess where to put them. Alright, so see, just clipped on there. Now we'll be able to put our brake pads. So the bracket only goes one way. Okay, you've got these two holes here have to line up where your big bolts were. Okay, you're gonna put that on like that, and that's how it goes. But first we're gonna put our brake pads on. So remember, your wear bar was the back pad. Like that. Slide it in there. Oh, I went a bit too far. There you go. One pad's in. You put your other one. Same thing. Slide it in your pin. There you go. And you can put it over your rotor. Line up those holes. You can close that if you want. Right onto the rotor. Put your top or bottom bolt first. Doesn't matter. Bottom one first. There it goes. ratchet. These bolts have to be very tight, okay? So, I'll just show you the old ones, okay? We have the old pads right here. Show you guys. See the difference in thickness? We changed them before they were metal on metal, so we saved the rotor, okay? It was very cheap to change the pads. It was $32.80. Front, both sides, okay? Bought them at Caps. Canadian, obviously, but and then we didn't have to change the rotor, so yeah. I'm gonna reinstall the caliper. I'm gonna take my C-clamp off. Okay, remove this white cable. Alright, now you can put your caliper on. See how it's still compressed? You can just slide it right over the pads. Grab your slider pins, push them inwards. And then you can slide your caliper right in. Grab your 2 bolts, one on the top and one on the bottom. We'll tighten our 2 bolts, bottom one and top. Don't have to over tighten these. Just little bolts. Okay, should be good. 2 brake pads changed within not even an hour. We'll reinstall this. And that's it, guys. So make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. And if you guys want other cool videos, write in the comments. Thank you very much. Always make sure to torque your nuts, your lug nuts to spec, and make sure to go test drive your car before you go anywhere. So thanks for watching, guys.